I'm Dr. Nikki, and what I know to be true is Black love is Black power. But in a world that tries to convince us otherwise, how do we keep the love strong? It's Black History Month, it's Valentine's Day month, it's Galentine's Day month, Black Love Month, and it's 28 days short, so we need to get right into it. Welcome to Dr. Nikki Knows, where I talk about all things Black women, liberation, mental wellness, sexual wellness, pleasure, joy, all that good stuff. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and definitely make sure you subscribe. Let's talk about how we need to not only celebrate, but make sure that we center love in the work that we do every single day. It is Black History Month, and we didn't have a Black History Month. Okay, we had Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl show. We had Serena. I said Super Bowl show at the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Serena Williams crip walking at the halftime show. We had the Grammys where Beyonce won Best Country Album of the Year. We had the Cowboy Carter tour dates drop. I'm probably forgetting some stuff. Oh, we have Abbott Elementary. We had Abbott Elementary where Janine and Gregory said "I love you" to each other for the first time. And yes, I did cry. Actual real tears. We are in a lovey-dovey, blackety black moment, and I am here for all parts of it. I really start by centering our conversation in the recognition that I do believe Black love is Black power, because choosing love is a radical act. We live in a time where things are exceptionally divisive, way more transactional than they are relational, where there's a loneliness epidemic, where real intimacy is lacking in so many of our lives, where we experience so much disconnect from our bodies, ourselves, and what we really want. And so, at the core of all of that is an absence of love. Love, which people think about in lots of different ways, is definitely one of those things where you know it when you have it, and you also know it when you don't have it. It can be described and experienced in a wide variety of ways. And I believe each expression of genuine love is equally valid and important. We definitely emphasize romantic love in this society. But when I'm talking about love, I'm also talking about the love between your best, closest friends, the love in your family, the love that you experience from your parents, or the love that you give to your children, the love that you have for your community and things that you value. And they may take different shapes, different forms. You may experience them in different intensities, and they are all so crucially important to what we're doing. When we talk about dismantling systems of oppression, when we talk about misogyn war, when we talk about the need for Black women to have spaces where they can be their brave, authentic, soft, vulnerable, joyful lives, we can't have those things without love at the center. And yet, there's so much opportunity for there to be distraction, for people to be jaded, for people to just be so exhausted, right? That who we love, how we love, and the expressions of that love can get smaller and smaller and smaller. One of the things that drives me nuts as a mental health professional and coach is the overemphasis on love languages, where people are asking other folks, what are their love language? As if we could fully understand how to be connected, how to express our genuine care, compassion, concern, connection, curiosity, joy for another human being with 5 simple things, right? I always say my love language is all of them. I want all of them, plus ones I have not even discovered yet. Um, we can experience love in a wide variety of ways. I want to experience love throughout my lifetime in a wide variety of ways. What I know is, when I know that I'm loved, when I experience love, when I feel affirmed, it allows me to step in, stand in, get comfortable in my own power, my own value, my own worth. Oftentimes, the people that love us the most see things in us and for us that we can't see for ourselves. So I want as much of that as I can possibly get. One of the things I always say to my clients is, I'm doing this work as much for me as I'm doing it for you, right? I'm talking about the things that I talk about because I see how they show up in my life. I see how when I work on myself, when I step outside of my comfort zone, when I do that healing in my own life, the impact that it has. And I know for a fact, as a high achieving Black woman, as a recovering perfectionist, as the daughter of a high achieving Black woman, as the mother of a precocious, talented, intelligent girl, I know how challenging it can be to slow down and really be fully present. I'm talking about the things that I talk about because I see how they show up in my life. I see how when I work on myself, when I step outside of my comfort zone, when I do that healing in my own life, the impact that it takes in a rush, in a hurry, feeling like there's so many things on my plate more than what I actually have time for. It can be so easy for me to lose sight of the essence of what's really important in life. And part of why Black love is Black power is because love takes time. Love cannot be packaged. It cannot be rushed. It requires the fullness of yourself. And there's so much pulling at us day in and day out. This capitalist society, this current moment that we're in, there's so much being thrown at us. It is designed for us to be disconnected, right? And so for us to sort of say, nope, I'm divesting from that. I am actually going to slow down and show up in love, in vulnerability, in authenticity, in intimacy for myself because it's important for me. You can't fight that, right? And I know that I also come from a family where we didn't really say I love you a lot. And I know that is also true for a lot of Black families. It wasn't that I ever doubted if I was loved. That was never it. But it wasn't a regular habit of saying it. And especially with me and my mother were extremely close. Only child, most of my life, full-time single parent. Um, but like hearing her say I love you on a regular basis was not something that happened. And as a result, I would oftentimes feel very vulnerable when I would want to say it to her. I am a Cancer, sun sign, Pisces rising. I'm all about the feels, all about the open heart, but I don't want y'all to know it. I don't want nobody to know I'm a punk, right? And so I remember getting to a point in my adulthood where I really wanted to lean more on my authenticity and taking the risk to be the one to express I love you to my mom in a casual way. And then when I became a parent, one of the things that I wanted to do specifically differently was to make saying I love you as commonplace and as normal as, and I have done that with my daughter. We say, I love you all the time. And it's meaningful every single time. And what I can also tell you is, even when you know you were loved, and again, like I said, with my mom, there was no doubt. With my family, there was no doubt. It matters to actually say the words. And I believe that's because the words do carry power. I believe it's because it is a way for you to be vulnerable. Even if you're not being vulnerable in the moment, it's a reflection of the investment and the vulnerability in that relationship. And so it matters. So as you think about Black love, if you think about yourself as a loving being, what comes up for you? Where do you feel that in your body? Um, are there ways that you want to be loved that you're not currently experiencing? Are there ways that you want to express love that you're not currently doing? And why is that? What's getting in the way of that? I guess my strong suspicion would be if you just take a little bit of time and think about that, it probably will reveal some really important information about you and your overall sense of connection with others that are important to you. It might tell you some stuff about yourself as well, and some areas where you can continue to, with some self-compassion and gentleness, and kindness, lean into a bit more curiosity about where there is opportunity for more healing for you to do. Okay, now that felt good. I think it's exceptionally beautiful thing to choose to not become calloused or hardened over time, to choose to be discerning about sharing your best parts of yourself and looking for the best parts of themselves and the other people that are around you. It's no small feat. I wake up every day to be the best version of myself, and some days that best version is raggedy. It's just raggedy. It's not enough. And so we need people in our lives that can love us enough through the raggediness, to love us enough to hold us up and hold us down through those moments so that we can get on the other side of it. And for Black folks, especially, for us to be able to stand in all of the creativity, the optimism, the brightness, the possibility, the positivity, the vulnerability of love after all of the shit we done been through as a people, after all of the ways that we continue to struggle day in and day out, that is a mighty powerful thing. So this is your pleasure practice for the week. Every week, I'm going to offer you a pleasure practice. It's going to be like a little challenge, something for you to sort of take this idea, take all the things that all the things that I had talked about today in the episode, and think about ways that you can apply it to your life. So, this week's pleasure practice is for you to think about ways in which you can extend just a little bit more love this month. I want you to think about your most precious relationships. Relationship. I want you to think about your most precious relationship. The one that would tear your whole world apart if it no longer existed. Maybe that is your relationship with yourself. It could be with your romantic partner. It could be with a family member. It could be with a best friend. It could be with someone that you love and cherish, and you haven't even defined what the relationship is. It's all of those things plus some. But I want you to sit and think about what's one way every day for the rest of this month that you can extend just a little bit more love. A way that maybe you can slow down a little bit. A way that you can be a bit more curious. A way that you can open up your heart just a little bit more to vulnerability, to intimacy, to connection with that person. And as you are doing that, I also want you to pay attention to what changes in you. And in fact, I want you to journal about it. What do you notice changing in you in this intentional extension of love? What do you notice changing in them with this intentional extension of love? What do you notice about how your relationship together changes with this intentional extension of love? So, for the rest of this month, that's your homework, okay? Write it down, get you a journal. If you don't have a journal, go get one. I really want you to think about how much power you have right here in yourself with no additional resources for free to change your life, to open up yourself, to create positive momentum, to lean into generating greater opportunity and space for abundance. You can do that all on your own. As you are doing this challenge, as you are doing this pleasure practice for the month, come back, drop in the comments, let me know. You might get mad at me. Sometimes my clients are like, ugh, you get on my nerves because it's a challenge for a reason, right? I want to hear what you notice. I want to hear how it's going. Okay? Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Make sure you go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And, I always say share some love by sharing this episode with somebody. Let somebody know about my channel. My lovely, remember that you are worthy and deserving of pleasure fully and completely, just as you are on your own terms. I'll see you in the next episode.